Greetings, peace, and love. Sister Alexis of Divine Notary and the Notary Wellness Mentor. I wanted to do a video about scambacks. I had a couple of comments actually about scambacks and what they are and just the whole process. And while I'm at it, I'm going to talk about faxbacks as well. So when you receive a job offer, you accept the job offer for real estate documents, a closing of some sort, you will have clear directions on how to return the documents. Some companies will just have you package it and drop it off at UPS or FedEx. They'll give you a shipping label with that. Some companies will have you do that, but before you drop it to the FedEx and UPS, they want you to scan it back to them or fax it back to them. And I'm going to tell you right now, avoid faxbacks like the plague. They are a headache. They are a headache because let's say the average closing is about 150 pages. So you have to fax back 150 pages. And let's just say, for instance, in the middle or maybe at page 149, it stops. The faxing stops and you have to do it all over again. It just becomes a hassle. Usually I would check in to say, hey, can I scan this back? And if they say yes, then I'll accept the job. But if it's a fax back, I mean, it really depends on what kind of money I'm wanting to earn that day, that week, before I would say yes to a fax back. Usually if it'll be in bold letters or in the instructions before you accept the job. It will say specifications, fax back only. So you can determine if it's something that you want to do. If you have a little bit more patience and you don't mind, or if you're new at it and you're really just trying to get some numbers on the board, as I say, then go ahead and take the fax back. Just make sure you're getting a decent amount of money for the fax back because it is a headache. But the scanbacks are very easy to do. With a scanback, all you have to do is, whether it's your own scanner or the scanner at the library, is usually free in most states. You don't have to go to a FedEx or UPS to have that done because it's about, I'm sure it's different in every area, but about 50 cents per page. It will never be cost effective. Pretty much anywhere would never be cost effective. Your best bet is go to the library. If you don't have one at home, if you're like, oh, well, I don't, have a library card, you don't need one, and it's free. All you have to do is learn how to function the machine. That way you don't have to ask the staff every single time to help you. And you may need to split up your documents. So, in 75 and 75 or whatever it is, split it up in half or in thirds in order to make sure that it submits properly. If you try to do the whole document and you're waiting for an email, because that's what would happen, you will send your documents either to a flash drive, you will send it to your email in a PDF form. And if that is the case, you have to break it up. All you have to do is learn how to merge your files together, and it will say like a PD. You can do it on a free PDF merger, and say if you had to break it up in thirds, you would just merge the document together. You would upload it to a particular site, and you can use a Google search for that. You don't have to have a specific one. You can use a Google search to find a PDF merger and merge the documents together, all three files together, to make one big file. Did y'all see that? That's called a hadida. They're very loud and they have big beaks that look like they're from the dinosaur era. Like, no kidding. So you merge all the files together in one, and then you would go back to the portal that you were hired through, unless it came through an email. You go back to the portal and you would upload one file, one document to the site, and that would be your scan back. And that is the signed copies that you are scanning back to the company. So I hope that is clear and you have a better understanding. The reason why companies want this is usually because they would like to verify that your information is correct, the signatures are all there. They like to try to catch it before you send it back to them, you ship it back to them. So if they can catch any mistakes, that just makes it better for everyone else. They don't have to call you out again, and you can have it done all in the same day, or at least by the next day, and then ship it back to them. And if they are close to closing, it's the end of the month, they usually can get some of the work done before the packet gets there. They can start the process with the scanned copies, but they still need a wet copy, so to speak, the originals. And once you scan it back into the system, it will later be approved, or if there's any issues, they will send you a email, or they'll give you a call and say, hey, something is not right, can you fix this? And then you will go out and you'll fix it by calling the client if that's necessary, or by affixing a seal, or if it's your signature, initial, or what have you. You'll just take care of it as soon as possible and then scan it back to them again. So that's what scan backs are. Very simple process. I know when I first started, I was confused about scan backs and fax backs as well. So if you are confused, hopefully this will alleviate some confusion, and now you'll be clear about what a scan back is, what a fax back is, and if it's something that you want to do. The last note I want to say about the fax backs, you know, if a scan is 50 cents a page, a fax is probably extremely expensive. I do want to note that there are apps that you can take pictures of your documents, or you can take picture of documents and you're able to send the document through email as a scan, as a fax. So there are apps that you can fax your documents back, but you would have to take a picture of every single document, and then it will create a PDF file, and then you will send the information that way. It's just, again, like I said, it's more of a hassle. If you have an industrial printer that you can depend on and that will fax for you very fast, that's fine. You know, the printers that have the all-in-ones, but not the office options, more of the not the small office options, more of like the big office, like what FedEx would have or the library would have. It's just easier to do it that way. I mean, trust me, I know a lot of notaries who, like me, who just don't want to deal with fax backs, but money talks, and if it works, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna make it work to the best of our ability. So if you have any questions or concerns, or need more information about what I suggested and talked about today, you can go ahead and put it in the comment section, or you can email me or reach out to me on any of my social media platforms, and all my information will be in the description box. If you found this helpful, please like and share. All right, peace and love.